little more on lifting and scrubbing. Oftentimes, for something like this that's kind of in the background and not real critical, but I do want to get a sense that these are little spherical, basically spherical sorts of forms. Now I'm using this smaller but quite stiff scrubber brush and just lifting up some color. That may have been a little too much. But I'm trying to just give these a sense that there's that because it's spherical and that there will be a part of this the spherical aspect that is getting more light, and that's a long conversation, but mostly just has to do with structural form and values and that stuff. So that's another way I'll use this one in particular. Another example might be something like this edge, where I could certainly start with a something softer than this scrubber brush, but sometimes I'm going to want to clean up an area just a little bit quicker and not worry so much about if any of the color is sort of coming in and helping it look more rounded, like I did down here. And speaking of down here, I've been saving this part. This thing is obviously not like I was hoping. So what I'm going to do for this is just kind of use one of these bigger bristle, and I could start with something a little more gentle, but I have a feeling I'm going to want this, and I'm just going to wet this whole shape with this. And yeah, I'm sort of wetting and scrubbing a little bit at the same time. And if you have an old bristle brush from oil painting, that will often work really well. These, I don't think I quite elaborated. These brushes by Princeton are what's called synthetic hog bristle. Synthetic, maybe they don't use the word hog, but I think it's synthetic bristle. That way they don't have to answer the question of what a synthetic hog looks like. That was supposed to be funny. But I'm getting a little more serious. I'm not messing around anymore. I'm trying to scrub the heck out of this shape. And because it's nice 300-pound paper and arches and quality, it's going to put up with quite a bit. You can see sort of the paper is getting beat up enough to where it's turning into little pills of rolled up excess paper, which is the paper's way of saying, okay, I've had enough. You could stop now. And I might keep going. What I'm curious about is what will happen if I use this Mr. Clean sponge. So that got some more. That was cool. And the thing, you know, obviously there's still a stripe there, but the thing that I think I have a much better chance at this point is coming back over that. I'm going to let it dry first, and then coming back over that with some colors that are a little bit more opaque, probably like the cobalt teal. Manganese blue hue sometimes is one that helps too. But and just mix that in over here in a way that makes sure it's still dark and in the background. And I think that's going to be fine. Gosh, was there one more for my scrubbing? Not specifically, other than I know I'm going to be doing a lot of those techniques in a lot of different places. There's my synthetic. So the thing to remember here is I want to clean this up, and I'm grabbing some paint from the adjacent shape, but I don't want to get that dark, so I want to make sure that I have a clean paper towel and try to do that. That's a good example of sort of starting with a less abrasive one, but I don't think it's going to quite do what I want it to do. So then I would more likely come back with something like with this little stiffer scrubby brush. Still need water on it. So yeah, like that. So that's going to be that's going to give me a much better chance of turning that into something that seems more what I want. And similar things are going on here and, you know, all over the place. So the scrubbing and the lifting, there's a tendency to think of it as if there's a perception out there that you're using it and it's sort of cheating, or you're trying to fix your mistakes, and that's certainly part of it. It's also its own very cool technique, and it has a way of softening edges and getting rid of paint that you don't want there, and just changing your mind. So it's a very helpful and just, what's the word? I'm missing a word, but standard aspect of watercolor painting. So I'm gonna say that's enough for talking about that stuff, and I'll do an additional video soon.